The biggest race of the season is going. It's lights out, we're racing here in Sepang in MotoGP, and once again, like yesterday, side by side go Martin and Bagnaia in the braking zone for the first corner. It's Pecco and Bagnaia, they touch and they rub legs on the entry to the first corner. Martin runs wide, Bagnaia seizes the inside line. Oh no, there's damage further back.
Contact.
Big crash further back. Quattarara's been collected. I think both factory KTMs are down in a real first corner melee here.
Bagnaia puts his hand up. I think the red flags must have come out. Nothing on our screens, but the riders are all signalling as if they're stopping. Yeah, race red flag due to a crash at turn 2.
It's lights out, we're racing once again in Malaysia. This time around, Pecco Bagnaia does make the cleaner start over Jorge Martin. How aggressive now will Martin be on the run down into the first corner? Bagnaia braking as late as he dares. Frankie Morbidelli's got away well once again. He gets a tap there from Marc Marquez. They sweep through turn 1. Let's hope they all get safely through the tight turn 2 this time around. They certainly have.
Yeah, Quattararo safely through. Of course, he was starting from that third row of the grid. He still maintained that place around 6th or 7th. Martin very close through turn number 3 on Pecco Bagnaia. He knows from a championship point of view, he just needs to follow him. Is that what he's going to choose to do?
Factory Ducati snaking sideways on the brakes in Sepang into turn 4. Bagnaia is all in for the win, as he said he would be. He is going to be ultra aggressive, but here comes Martin with the element of surprise. That is not a move that you see very often. He had the big shake on the change of the direction through at turn 6. Martin briefly went through. He ran in hot. Bagnaia back at the front.
Guess we asked the question going into the race, would Pecco Bagnaia choose to slow the pace off? Here comes Martin once again on the inside of the reigning world champion. Bagnaia will get the run out of the corner and try and move through. But if Bagnaia is going to try and back this pace up, the best way to counter that is to get ahead of him.
Can't remember the first lap where Bagnaia was overtaken twice. Martin, how late on the brakes is Martin into turn 15? He's gone in wide. Bagnaia's going to cut to the tight inside line with the better exit speed though is Martin. That just shows the different impact of different entries and exits there. Now then Bagnaia's going to try and get some slipstream. Here we go, what a battle this is between the title contenders. Bagnaia now back at the front, on the brakes on the inside of Martin into turn 1. This is what it's all about. MotoGP at its very, very best. The two fastest riders in the world, the two title contenders going toe-to-toe here in Malaysia.
Well, Pecco Bagnaia is going all in. It's really his only option to keep himself in title contention. Martin having a look now into turn number 4, and for the third time now, Martin passes Bagnaia, but not for very long.
Incredible action here at the front of this Sepang Grand Prix. You can barely hear yourself think in the commentary box. The noise from the main grandstand is so loud, it's deafening here. Through turn 6 we go. What a fight this is between Bagnaia and Martin. They are throwing it all on the line here in Malaysia. And now once again through 14 comes Martin. They're almost going to touch on the exit now. Who's going to get the better drive now down this long back straight? Marc Marquez, a very interested party there in 3rd place. Into the 4th sector where Bagnaia has been so good all weekend. This is edge of the seat action in MotoGP. This is nail-biting tension. Martin and Bagnaia, they go side by side. They almost touch, powering towards 6th gear down the start-finish straight. Who's going to have the edge on the brakes into turn 1?
It's Martin up the inside, but he looks like he's going to run in a little bit hot there. He does go ever so slightly wide. Bagnaia back up the inside of Jorge Martin again. The lead continues to change hands.
Well, this already feels like 2 corners into lap 3, like race of the century. This is MotoGP, off the scale, awesome. It's Bagnaia then now that leads. Here comes Martin for a long way back. Into turn 4 he goes. Is he going to get it stopped? No, once again. Bagnaia gets him on the cutback.
Martin up again this time into turn number 5. Does that look like a rider to you who's taking the cautious championship approach? Not a bit of it.
What are we witnessing here? Now Bagnaia shows Martin his front tyre going through 7. Marc Marquez must be loving this.
That's a win.
You trade seats, wouldn't you, with Marc Marquez right now, because he has got a box office front row seat for what is an absolute barnstormer in Sepang. Bagnaia now trying to get through into turn 9. There is no way through.
It's a bit of a tightrope though here for Pecco Bagnaia. As much as he wants to get ahead of Jorge Martin, he cannot afford to have a crash with him. A crash that takes the pair of them out really suits Jorge Martin here.
Winding up the wick, winding up the power now to 6th gear. Bagnaia's got the inside line into turn 15. They rub knees, they rub elbows once again. Bagnaia has the inside line.
But he's going to get a slower run out of that final corner, and Martin will now have the slipstream down the home straight. Bagnaia got the moment, he's throwing everything at Jorge Martin. I guess he's thinking, if I can keep putting moves on Jorge Martin, maybe, just maybe, I can force him into a mistake.
Oh, look at the chatter, the pumping on the front there that Martin was having as he squeezed the front brake hard on the brakes into that first corner. He almost runs into the back of Bagnaia through turn 2. Now we go through the high-speed turn 3. This is all about the wheel spin through here, all about who's got the smoothness on the throttle. Turn 4, Martin's had a lunge here 2 or 3 times already in this Grand Prix. This time around he's not close enough. Bagnaia goes defensive on the inside, over the blind crest now into turn 5. What a first 3 laps this has been here in Malaysia. Already a race for the ages.
The good news for Jorge Martin is that the field is very much stretched out a little bit behind them. Joan Mir is no longer a part of that. He's gone down at turn number 9, so he is out of this Malaysian Grand Prix. Because behind Marc Marquez, there's a 2.5 second gap back to Enea Bastianini. So clearly Pecco Bagnaia did not have any ideas or thoughts of backing the field up and slowing up the pace. The horse has already bolted in that respect, because there's such a big gap behind your top 3 that Bagnaia can't really slow the pace up from there.
This sensational ride, it's going to be his 10th win of the season. 10 Grand Prix victories. That's 250 points he's collected on Sundays alone in victories, and he's still going to be 24 adrift of Jorge Martin. Although Martin at the moment is certainly being kept honest by Marc Marquez in 3rd place. Marquez potentially trying to do a bit of a turn for his future factory Ducati teammate. Nothing between Martin and Marquez's lap times. They both did 159.5s.
Yeah, the top 4 are the only riders now in the 159s, and it just underlines, as we've seen all season, the gulf between the top 4 in the World Championship, who are now the top 4 in this race. They are the only riders who are able to lap this Sepang International Circuit in under 2 minutes. Morbidelli now in 5th place. He's got Pedro Acosta now for company, who's just actually been overtaken by Alex Marquez. There's a pretty close battle between 4 of them: Morbidelli, Marquez, Acosta and Quartararo, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th.
And you have to say once again, you just have to doff your cap to Marc Marquez, who once again is picking a fight with the GP24s. A fight really he has no right to be picking on that GP23. The GP24s in the hands of Bagnaia and Martin have been a class apart, league of their own this weekend in Sepang. Well, pretty much for the whole of this season. For Marquez to still be in contention, I think we've lost
Frankie Morbidelli.
Pecco Bagnaia, who is doing everything he can, fighting with every ounce of his talent just to make sure that we do go to a final round showdown. Anything could happen, of course, in the tense scenarios. Oh, Marquez has crashed. Marc Marquez then has crashed out of 3rd place. We just caught him there, sliding out of contention into turn 15, just as, quite rightly, we were heaping praise on his brilliant performance, keeping that GP23 somehow in podium contention. But the pace, once again, on maybe slightly inferior machinery, just too hot to handle. He tucks the front going into turn 15.
As Bagnaia comes across the line now, we are now coming up to half race distance. A 59.4 for Bagnaia, 59.6 for Jorge Martin. Bastianini has only just come over the line. He's just on a 2:01.0, a scruffy lap for Bastianini. He's now 7 seconds off the lead, and actually now reversing back towards that Marquez-Acosta battle.
Yeah, and of course that could have a big impact on 3rd place in the championship, which is now in the hands of Bastianini.
Bagnaia must be looking at his pit board and in his dashboard and thinking, why is it every time I'm in P1 I see a gap? And the 89 in second place, he must just be wishing that for once it was someone other than Martin who was right behind him. And it's what Martin has done so well in this 2024 season. It's one of the big reasons he's in this position in the World Championship. When Pecco Bagnaia wins, generally Jorge Martin finishes second. Of Bagnaia's 9 Sunday wins so far in 2024, Jorge Martin has finished with him on the podium in 7 of them. He might be about to make it 8. One of the big questions I think I'll have at the end of this race is where the Enea Bastianini pace went to. He's lapping in the 2 minutes. He's now just at a 2:00.3. He's now near enough on the pace of Bagnaia and Martin, but surely Enea Bastianini would have expected to be much closer than 9 seconds off the race winner. As you say, won this Grand Prix last year, but that kind of pace has been nowhere to be seen so far today. There he is at the bottom of your screens as Acosta continues to shadow Alex Marquez, but at the moment, as of yet, unable to find a way through. You just know, knowing Pedro Acosta like we do, he's going to try it somewhere. Across the line we go. He's taken another 10th and a half. Bagnaia's pace drops off to a 2:00.7, 2:00.1 for Jorge Martin. Pecco Bagnaia has shown in the past that generally if a rider starts to get to within around a second of him or under that, he's prepared to up his pace again and respond. We're about to find out, I think, over this next couple of laps if Bagnaia has out anything to respond with or whether Martin just has the superior late grip here.
Yeah, is this just a deliberate ploy, slacking off the pace just to make sure that he has got some front tyre life left for this Malaysian Grand Prix? There is the wear. It's a soft front tyre which Pecco Bagnaia opted for. Focus, that is the key message. It was the key message in the sprint yesterday, and it's the key message now for Jorge Martin. I think they're just saying second is more than good enough. Chill, relax, tranquilo, see the checkered flag.
20 points will do us just fine. Here's another look at the moment into turn 9. Bagnaia did respond, though, to be fair to the defending champion. He dropped his pace back down by half a second to a 2:00.2. Well, it's calmed down a little bit, hasn't it, this MotoGP race from what we saw already. I think we all needed a bit of a breather after that unforgettable first 4 or 5 laps of this Grand Prix. And in the end, unlike yesterday, that early arm wrestle was won by Pecco Bagnaia, and in the end, that's made the difference. That's given him the high ground. It gave him that couple of seconds of a buffer, and even if Jorge Martin had superior grip late in the race, Bagnaia had been able to build up a significant lead to take what looks set to be now with 2 laps to go. Another MotoGP victory, a perfect 10, but potentially not quite enough in 2024.
Yeah, 10 of the best incoming from Bagnaia, but is it just going to be too short? Is he just going to stumble at the end of this World Championship campaign? Marquez can claw back another couple of positions here, or even one, then it certainly sort of limits the damage of his crash out of 3rd place in terms of 3rd overall in the championship. Pecco Bagnaia then is going to sweep through turn 15, the final corner on the second to last lap of our second to last Grand Prix in 2024. It looks like the rematch will roll on to a final round decider, Bagnaia versus Martin. Last lap underway here then, as Bagnaia cruising towards his 10th Grand Prix win of the season.
Well, both of these title contenders deserve our respect, our admiration, not just for the level that they're riding at, but for the incredible entertainment they gave us in those first 4 or 5 laps, which will live long in the memory of any MotoGP fan who watched them. Marquez has gone past Luca Marini, and with that, is back into 3rd place in the World Championship. That battle will also roll on to our final round, with Marquez and Bastianini, as it stands, level on points.
So Bagnaia, well, he has kept up his end of the bargain. He said it was must win. He said he was going to be aggressive, and boy was he true to his word in what was a memorable first 3 or 4 laps here in Malaysia. Once again on Sundays, he has been a cut above the rest. He's going to have won over 50% of the Grand Prix here in 2024, 10th win in 19, but is he going to fall short when it comes to the final reckoning? It's a big ask. Anything can happen in MotoGP. Expect the unexpected. What's the old adage? Never say never in the MotoGP World Championship. It is still game on, but 24 points will be the deficit he has to close in on Jorge Martin. Martin will know that if he wins the Tissot sprint in Barcelona in 2 weeks' time, well, he will be the world champion, the first world champ to be crowned on a sprint Saturday. Take a bow though, Pecco Bagnaia, because he has done everything within his powers to make sure that we do have a final race showdown. It has been a brilliant victory here in Malaysia. Jorge Martin's going to lose 5 points in the championship, but his iron grip on glory in 2024 remains as we head to our season finale. Pecco Bagnaia then keeps the rematch alive, keeps his World Championship hopes alive as he crosses the line victorious here in the Malaysian Grand Prix in Sepang. What a way to bounce back from his crash in the sprint yesterday. It is win number 10 of the season for Bagnaia. He takes it over 3 seconds clear of Jorge Martin. The championship then will be decided at the season finale.